This is CBN NewsWatch.
It is Tuesday, February 4th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ephraim Graham. Ahead today, a shocking result in the Iowa caucuses as there's no result at all. We're going to look at the chaos surrounding the vote, which prevented state officials from releasing the outcome until the problems can be resolved. The stunning announcement from conservative radio icon Rush Limbaugh about his health and the outpouring of well wishes. As President Trump's team tries to push ahead with its Middle East peace plan, what will be the status of Jerusalem? And if you are dealing with the persistent pain, you don't need to turn to opioids. We're going to have some better alternatives for you. All those stories and much more are ahead in this edition of CBN NewsWatch. We begin this half hour with the stunning political chaos in Iowa, as Democratic Party officials have been working furiously to figure out the results of Monday's caucuses. Technology problems and reporting inconsistencies prevented state officials from releasing the results of the caucuses, so caucus day ended with no winner and no results. Abigail Robertson brings us this look at the unexpected mess in the Hawkeye State.
With uncertainty in the air as candidates address their supporters Monday night.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a long night, but I'm feeling good.
Each took advantage of the situation to celebrate like they were the winner.
By all indications, we are going on to New Hampshire victorious.
Sanders supporters are hopeful this is finally his year.
I feel like Bernie is really going to be that answer that we need. I think he's the only one viable that can go against Trump right now.
While Warren caucus goers also had some pep in their step.
I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled.
Biden didn't quite make it as a viable candidate at every precinct.
I think that overall Biden does have the support we need. A lot of candidates just have confidence that he's still going to do well, and so some Iowans aren't showing up for him, but I think ultimately he will do well.
But his supporters tried their best to secure more votes.
I'm getting text messages to come over to Bernie as we speak.
While many Democrat voters tell CBN News it's time for some new leaders.
I feel that it's time for maybe getting some younger people with some different ideas.
The majority stands ready to support whoever wins the nomination.
I will be behind whoever the candidate will be.
But no matter whom that is, Donald Trump Jr. tells CBN News none of the candidates are a match for his dad.
The reality, if I look at what I believe to be the two front runners right now, whether it's Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders, I'm like, well, one's a communist, that's great, I can work with that. The other, honestly, can't remember what state he's in 50% of the time.
Since 2000, each Democratic candidate who's won the Iowa caucus has gone on to win the party's nomination. Given the unusually crowded primary field, many campaigns are hopeful that 2020 marks an end of that streak. Reporting from Iowa, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Turning now to Washington, President Donald Trump delivers his third State of the Union address tonight, which he plans to be a positive speech, just one day before the Senate is expected to acquit him of 2 articles of impeachment. Caitlin Burke is on this story.
The theme of tonight's State of the Union is the Great American Comeback. President Trump is expected to tout the strong economy, jobs, and trade deals. According to administration officials, the president will keep it positive, laying out a vision of, quote, relentless optimism. Trump made it clear that despite what's going on Capitol Hill with impeachment, he will not postpone the speech.
I'm going to have it. It's going to be done. We're going to talk about the achievements that we've made. Nobody's made achievements like we've made, so many different things. I'm so proud of what we've done for our vets with choice.
Still, the impeachment drama hangs over Trump, who's only the second president to give a State of the Union address while in the middle of an impeachment trial, and the nation remains deeply divided. It's unclear if Trump plans to bring up impeachment as he stands before some of the very lawmakers who want to remove him from office. Republicans have urged him to avoid the subject. The Senate is on track to wrap up the trial on Wednesday, an acquittal all but sealed. No GOP senators have indicated they would vote for Trump's removal from office, including moderate Republicans like Alaska's Lisa Murkowski, who criticized the president's behavior but said she'll vote to acquit him.
I cannot vote to convict. The Constitution provides for impeachment, but does not demand it in all instances.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia is still undecided on how he will vote, But on Tuesday, he urged his colleagues to formally censure the president.
Censure would allow this body to unite across party lines and as an equal branch of government to formally denounce the president's actions and hold him accountable. His behavior cannot go unchecked by the Senate.
Even so, Manchin is one of the few Democrats who may join Republicans in voting to acquit the president. The Senate's final vote on acquittal or conviction is set for Wednesday afternoon. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
Now you can watch the president's speech and get expert commentary beginning at 8:30 this evening on the CBN News Channel. You can stream it live as well at cbnnews.com, or you can watch it on the CBN News app. President Donald Trump and evangelist Franklin Graham are among many people offering encouragement and prayer to conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh after his surprising announcement on his show Monday about his recent medical diagnosis.
I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. And I wish I didn't have to tell you this. And I thought about not telling anybody. I thought about trying to do this without anybody knowing, because I don't like making things about me. But there are going to be days that I'm not going to be able to be here.
The 69-year-old said he has a great medical team assembled to help him, and he told his staff he has a deeply personal relationship with God that's been working on him tremendously. Turning now to the Middle East, Jerusalem has always been the most contentious issue in Israel-Palestinian negotiations, and it's no different now with President Trump's Middle East peace plan, his deal of the century. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us the story.
Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas rejected Jerusalem as the undivided capital of Israel.
Shortly after it was unveiled, saying a Palestinian state without Jerusalem, I immediately rejected the solution. I will not have it recorded in my history and the history of the country that I sold Jerusalem.
U.S. Ambassador to Israel David Friedman explained the Jerusalem part of the deal.
Jerusalem is an undivided city within a security barrier, and under the Trump plan, that undivided city within the security barrier will be 100% under Israeli sovereignty, with the Temple Mount retaining the status quo.
The Temple Mount is under Israeli security control and Jordanian religious authority.
Beyond the security barrier, you still have municipal Jerusalem. And in that area, there is territory earmarked for a Palestinian capital.
Abu Dis is part of that area, but Abu Dis Mayor Ahmad Abu Hilal told CBN News that's a non-starter.
We refuse that thing. For me, I'm as the mayor of Abu Dis, I refuse to be the capital of Palestine. I'm a part of Jerusalem.
In 1996, the Palestinian Authority broke ground to build a parliament building in Abu Dis. It was going to be their Jerusalem seat of government, but the building was never completed.
They built the parliament because use Abu Dis is the part of Jerusalem. They have no walls here. Now they put in the walls.
Israel built the security barrier in Jerusalem more than 15 years ago at the height of the Second Palestinian Intifada to prevent terrorists from entering the city. From a rooftop in Abu Dis overlooking the security barrier and Jerusalem beyond, it's easy to see how the two sides were once one.
We used to work here, we go into Jerusalem. Before the wall, every night we be in Jerusalem watching the cinema.
This is El Azariah, a mostly Muslim town under the Palestinian Authority, just over a mile from Jerusalem. It's also known as Bethany in the Bible, the place where Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. Al Azariah Mayor Issam Faroun said the Trump plan misses the point about Jerusalem.
The importance of this area, Azariah, Abu Dis, and other villages here, have its importance because we are surrounding Jerusalem. Without our Jerusalem, we are nothing here.
I'm telling you, I hope so. The peace is coming back. That's what we need. Everybody needs the peace. The peace is good for everybody.
But with the Palestinian rejection of the plan, it's not likely a peace deal will be signed anytime soon. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Abu Dis and Al Azariah.
Coming up, why have some younger Americans shifted their views on abortion to pro-life? We're going to take a look at the reasons behind that change when we come back. Stay with us.
region's first ROTC graduate student.
Meet the pastors who are preaching the gospel in a fresh, fearless way. I'm Roberto Torres-Cedillo. Join me each week for Next Gen Voices. And watch God transform a generation.
How'd you like to get a redo on your health, on your body, on your arteries, so you could have the energy you had 20 years ago? The great news is you can. I'm Dr. Mike Roizen, chair of the Wellness Institute at the Cleveland Clinic. I've written 4 New York Times bestsellers. But even better than having to read all that, you can listen to this DVD and watch it. Protect your heart? Yes, you can. Here's how.
Go to CBN.com or call 1-800-700-7000 for your free copy of Protect Your Heart. Let the medical experts show you their new discoveries on how to avoid heart disease and even reverse it. Easy steps to uncover the hidden dangers in your medicine cabinet, reduce stress, and get a complete do-over for your health. Call 1-800-700-7000. That's 1-800-700-7000. Or go to CBN.com to claim your free copy of Protect Your Heart.
A prominent pro-life leader says every day people have the power to end abortion. Sean Carney is the president of 40 Days for Life, and he told CBN's The Prayer Link, promoting a culture of life can make a difference in the battle to protect unborn children.
Last year, the Washington Post reported that dating was down 57%. And I thought that's not a culture of life. That's the destruction of real, authentic human relationships, that we're not even dating anymore. And so I use these examples to show how, whether you're taking care of your elderly parents or you're getting kids in the car every single morning. I have 8 children, and I know what a project that is. Those things are living a culture of life, and they're serving as an example to the gospel of life.
You can catch Prayer Link this evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time on the CBN News Channel. The pro-life movement is growing in America. Just a week and a half ago, hundreds of thousands marched at the annual March for Life on the National Mall in Washington in support of protecting the unborn. And as CBN's Jenna Browder reports, young people are leading the charge.
Young people are the heart of the March for Life. And it's your generation that is making America the pro-family, pro-life nation.
President Trump giving them a special shout out and making history by becoming the first sitting president to attend in person.
It's an honor for the top leadership of our country to support any cause.
Ethan Van Buskirk is a student at Colorado Christian University and the president of CCU for Life.
We believe that every single human life is inherently valuable, whether that's in the womb or whether that's at the end of life too.
And this younger interest seems to be a growing trend. A Marist poll from February 2019 showed a significant shift among people under 45. That January, 28% identified as pro-life. And just 1 month later, that number jumped to 47%. And those identifying as pro-choice fell drastically from 65 to 48%.
The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired.
Pollsters credit the shift to last year's debate over late-term abortion, fueled by measures in New York and Virginia.
The more people I talk to, the more I'm starting to learn that, yes, like, we're not alone in this. There are more people than we think. There are more people who are deciding one way or the other. And I think that's really cool.
These students point to science, technology, and their faith as the main reasons behind their views.
For me personally, I would say my faith is what inspires me to be specifically passionate about life. I believe in a God who has created life, that every human being has value.
Other data, though, does still show strong support for abortion among millennials. In a Gallup poll from last January, nearly 1/3 of 18 to 34-year-olds said abortion should be legal under any circumstance. Compare that to the 21% of those 55 and older who felt the same way. Still, these CCU students say they can't help but notice what's happening around them.
I absolutely think it's growing. Last year, my school took 27 students, and this year, we took almost 200.
And from the National Mall to the classroom, they say their push to advocate for the unborn doesn't stop here. They tell me they're hoping to bring even more of their peers next year. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
Still ahead, with millions of Americans dealing with ongoing pain, many are turning to opioids for relief, but we're going to hear why that's not a good idea and bring you some superior alternatives. We've got that story coming for you right after this. Stay with us.
To have sex before you marry is a bad idea.
Don't tell me there's no such thing as gun violence.
That just depends on your definition of when life begins.
Watch Dan and Dale tackle trending topics that test your faith on the next Faithwire, Monday night at 9:30. The Global Lane takes you around the world, providing facts over fiction.
What might rising trade and geopolitical tensions mean for you on the home front?
With over 45 years of experience, award-winning journalist Gary Lane brings you the truth from a global angle.
What about the issue of immigration?
World news analysis you won't see anywhere else.
And it's all right here on the Global Lane.
Watch The Global Lane, Thursday night at 9:30.
One in 10 Americans deals with persistent physical pain. Some turn to opioids for relief, but they can be ineffective and addictive. Lori Johnson talked with some experts about other ways to relieve chronic pain without opioids.
Talk about some of the ways that we can change our beliefs about our pain.
So one of the easiest ways is to really think about, do I start to catastrophize about my pain? This is very common. It's easy to do, where you start to think things like, I'm never going to get better. I can only go on disability. What kind of a future am I going to have? And instead, what we want you to do is grab those thoughts, start thinking about how you could replace that with something that's a little bit more positive. Maybe you can't throw the ball like you used to, but maybe you can do some other things, create a new normal with this pain, and try to focus on what you can do versus what you can't do. Changing those beliefs, replacing them with something that's more positive, more hopeful, more helpful. In the Christian faith, we believe that there always is help, there's always a way, there's always hope for what we can do, and so we want to move forward in that way. The other thing that would be good is to think about, how do my thoughts affect my emotions? And for a lot of people that are dealing with pain, depression is a part of that. And if you don't grab those thoughts and you make them more positive, and I'm not saying you're saying things that aren't true to yourself. You're not saying, I'll just pretend my pain isn't here. No, you're acknowledging that you have pain, but the more you focus on good things, it's a biblical idea. Think on things that are good, that are positive, things in your life that are working, things you have gratitude for, things that you're thankful for. The more we do that, it rewires the brain in a positive way, and it literally turns down the volume of pain. The same is true with emotions. The more we deal with our depression, the more we get treatment for that, the more we start to get lifted out of that depression, it's going to also turn down the volume of pain. So those are very important things to pay attention to.
Dr. Cribbs, it's really amazing to me how we can change the way we think. And you really recommend doing a gratitude journal, because focusing on things for which we are grateful really helps minimize pain. Who knew?
It does. And one of the things is at the root of pain, and we talk about the depression and things like that, is that there's a sense of loss of control. That you have something that happened to you and you're not recovering. And so one of the things that helps you get control is to do a gratitude journal. What this does is it helps you spend some focused time, maybe 3 to 5 minutes in the evening or in the morning, and you're actually writing out things that you think are good, that are good about your life, the things that are positive in your life. And what that does is it puts more focus on what's good, and it activates different areas of the brain. And it doesn't put as much focus on the things on the pain or things that are bothering you. So you're reinforcing more positive pathways, healthier brain pathways, and you're de-emphasizing the pain pathways in your brain, which is what we want to do. We want to rewire the brain into a more healthy direction.
And you talk also about meditation. And Linda, for people who are of the Christian faith, sometimes people are thinking, I don't want to do, the mindfulness activities and things like that. But you say that there's a right way and a wrong way to do this.
So for the Christian person, what we're told scripturally is to put on the mind of Christ and to meditate on those things that are in the Bible, and to meditate on the person of Christ and the person of Jesus. So if you focus your mind onto Christ and all the good things he's done for you, that's usually praise, then you worship him for who he is. All of that changes the brain. We have lots of studies that show that prayer actually changes the brain for good. And prayer is actually one of the evidence-based treatments that turns down the volume of pain.
And to learn other ways to alleviate pain without prescription pills, tune into Healthy Living. You can do that this evening at 9:30 Eastern, and you can find it on the CBN News Channel. Coming up, he's a boxing champion and a politician in the Philippines, but Manny Pacquiao's real priority is something else, spreading the word of God. We've got that story for you when we come back.
It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh, no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
From Washington, D.C., uncompromising stories, interviews, and analysis from veteran journalists David Brody.
Escalating fight.
Jenna Browder.
Chose his words carefully.
Ben Kennedy.
Plan to join him.
And Amber Strong.
For impeachment grows a little bit louder.
Bringing you the political news that matters.
We get out and tell the story of the progress that we're making in this country.
Watch Faith Nation, weeknights at 6 on the CBN News Channel.
We will move the American embassy to the eternal capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem.
As the nations rage, you can stand with Israel.
History is being written, and I want to be a part of it.
Call 1-800-700-7000 and get to life.
This is our nature as a country.
Discover the untold story of how Israeli volunteers are changing the world.
We consider it our duty to reach out and help others around the world.
For a gift of $10 or more, you can own the acclaimed CBN documentary To Life.
To treat a human, no matter what he is, which religious he has, which color he is, this is what I'm doing.
Support Israel in their time of need. Get to Life, now available on DVD. Call 1-800-700-7000 or log on to cbn.com.
And I wish that other people throughout the world could see this side of Israel.
He's a senator in the Philippines and a boxing champion. Manny Pacquiao successfully defended his World Boxing Association title twice last year, proving his prowess in the ring even at 41 years old. But Pacquiao has a greater passion than being an iconic boxing champion, and that's spreading the word of God. Lucille Talusan brings us his story from the Philippines.
Boxing icon Manny Pacquiao attributes his success in the ring to God and hard work. He's always been vocal about his Christian faith and his passion in persuading people to read the Word of God. As member of the Philippine Senate, Manny Pacquiao authored the law declaring the last Monday of January as the National Bible Day in the Philippines. Leaders from all pillars of society, the government, entertainment, business, and the church unite on this day to celebrate the Holy Bible as the cradle of the Christian faith. 100,000 Bibles were printed for this event to be given away to the different sectors of society. We are at the third annual celebration of the National Bible Day, and behind me is Senator Manny Pacquiao sharing his testimony and reminding everyone of the power of the Word of God, challenging them to share the Word as often as they can, especially at this time of so much calamities, not only in the Philippines, but around the world. World-renowned apologist Dr. Ravi Zacharias says the time is ripe to preach the gospel.
Natural calamities are causing us to realize how fragile we are. God brings a person to a time where they need to realize that. I can't do that. God does it.
Bishop Ephraim Tendero, Secretary General of the World Evangelical Alliance, says they have also marked 2020 as the Year of the Bible, urging 600 million Christians worldwide to spread the Word of God.
We want everyone to have that recognition of the role of the Bible in community life, in family life, and national life.
The Bible is the only book we need to discover the foundational truth of how to know and walk with God.
Pacquiao was saddened with the sudden death of friend Kobe Bryant. He hopes reports that Bryant received Christ are true.
Life is too short in this world. You came to this world naked, and we will depart naked. We can bring nothing in this world. So make sure that you have personal relationship to God, and you obey God. Read the Bible, because the Bible will teach you into all its truth. The Bible is the manual to life.
Lucille Talusan, CBN News, Manila.
Time now for your Tuesday Tweetable. It's a message meant to inspire you, and I encourage you to post tag tweet and share it with those who follow you. With all the issues you face and physically see in life, it's easy to forget our invisible God is more real and powerful than any visible problem. With that word, make today a terrific Tuesday. That is a wrap for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our CBN News programs on the CBN News Channel at any time. You can also find them online at cbnnews.com. We'd love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today. Email us. The address is there on your screen, newswatch@cbn.com. And of course, you can always reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make it a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you right back here, same time tomorrow.